Welcome to Data versus Commerce, where we explore the messy middle between database and doorstep. I'm Matt Johnson.
And I'm Floyd Blakey. Let's dig in. Let's go. What's up, Matt?
What's up, Floyd?
It's
Happy to be here.
podcast time.
It is. It is. I'm excited. Excited to kick this off with you. And yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Tell me about yourself, Matt. It's like a job interview. Who are
Oh,
you?
yeah. Nobody knows who we are, right? Good point. For our new listeners, I'm Matt Johnson. I'm the head of distribution and manufacturing here at Pivotree. And spent my entire life working in digital commerce, B2B e-commerce in particular, primarily for distributors and manufacturers, helping them solve, the issues around systems, processes, good teamwork, technology, and emphasizing the importance of product data, which has something to do with the name of our show. But yeah, that's me, and hopefully you guys will get to know me a little bit more as we go along. But excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited. I'm Floyd Blakey. I am the head of marketing at Pivotree. Joined this team fairly recently, just in January 2026, but I've spent my career in largely manufacturing, marketing, and a little bit of broadcast before that as well. So I'm excited for both halves of my career to come together here as we're kicking off Data versus Commerce. Now, I'm gonna just pull back the curtain, put the tiger on the table, and yell at it. Matt, when we started working on this podcast concept, you didn't like the name. What's up with that?
It was so funny, right? So you guys had the big reveal, and I know you had been working hard on coming up with the theme and the name for the show, and you revealed it. And I know you were very optimistic, and I went, horrible. But I said I didn't get it because to me, like in the way my black and white mind thinks, like I was like, data versus commerce. Wait a second. Like commerce is data, right? But hey, I'm happy to say that, I've changed my tune a little bit. I'm starting to really understand what we're talking about here. And it's real. Like it is for sure real. There's a conflict between the data that we have and the commerce experience that we need across the industries that we serve. And I see it every day. Data teams are some of the most underappreciated, understaffed, under-resourced people in digital commerce, and and really the experience relies on the ability for clean data to get where it needs to go, and so these things have to be united. So that's the goal. The goal is frictionless commerce. The goal is data living where it needs to live, but there's a gap, there's a conflict.
Yeah.
They're not talking to each other, and
There's
so
some tension.
conversation, right, Floyd? I mean, it's just
That's right.
I love it now.
Yeah,
Bored.
it's not a knockdown fight. We're not pitting one against the other. We're thinking of it more like couples therapy, to be super literal. It's like data and commerce, really important relationship. Sometimes they forget how to communicate, and we're going to talk about how that happens and why that happens. And that is the intro spiel that I had in my brain that I was going to just put out there leading into the fact that, Matt, I actually invented this podcast. It's fake because I wanted to ask you a question and you're really hard to nail down. And it's all about my dishwasher. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, let's go.
It's a fake podcast so I can get some tech support. So my dishwasher broke, which for me really, really sucks because I've got kids. I don't know, I like to eat lunch, and I really don't like to do dishes in the sink. So stop working, hit the button. I'm not super dishwasher technical, the on button, the go one, and it didn't make water. Dishwasher is supposed to make water. So I Googled it, found that I needed a new pump. So I did all my research. I looked up the model number, have all the manufacturer details. It was like the right voltage, it was the right dimensions, and it said it was in stock and would ship super fast. So I was like, sweet. I do not want to do a single additional dish with my hands. Like that's not what these are for. So I hit buy, and I paid $25 extra to have it come overnight. Let me tell you what happened. It took 3 days to actually show up. So I've already got pruny fingers, not happy about that. And then when I tried to install it, the connector wanted 4 pins. What they sent me had 3 pins. It didn't go together. So I paid like over $150 for like the part, the rush shipping that didn't happen, and now it shows up, and even though it's supposed to be the right part and it's, made from the manufacturer, the pins don't connect. So I want to know, who can I blame for this, Matt? I need to send an angry email somewhere. You got to tell me.
Yeah, well, obviously the poor customer service team. I mean, they'll take the brunt of your frustration, and that's usually what happens, right? The sales org is going to feel it first. Yeah, I mean that sucks. I mean, I hate washing dishes by hand. You're so conditioned, like to think that you're going to get something the next day, right? And it doesn't always work out like that. So
And the right thing.
yeah, and the right thing. And exactly. So what happened, right? Like let's diagnose this together. So I suspect, first of all, that when you searched for that part, it came up and it looked like it was the right part, right? Because you checked out, you searched for the part number or the brand.
Yep.
It looked like it was the right thing, but you don't really know. You're not a contractor, so you can't.
I am not.
It's not like you've installed 25 of these things over the last 3 months. So like
No.
you're trusting the data on that product detail page to be correct.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was. I really was.
Yeah. So it starts there, right? Like that product information obviously had an error in it, and
Mhm.
somehow it squeaked online. And so that's a problem, right? Because if you got a 4-prong thingy and you should have got a 3-prong thingy, well, the person that
The
needs a
technical
4-prong
term.
thingy probably got the 3-prong thingy.
Well, and then I ended up Googling it more because I wanted to know how I made this mistake. And it turns out that the year that mine was manufactured, they switched from 3 pins to 4 in the middle of the year, but the serial number or model number, whatever, stayed the same. So how could I have not fallen into this trap? Like, what could somebody have done differently so that I'm not mad and dishwasherless? Like, how does that get fixed?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, so essentially, this is the problem that every large parts dealer, or distributor, that they struggle with this, right? Because what's happening, Floyd, is like you may not realize this because you're just trying to get something that you need, but they're managing hundreds of supplier data feeds
Mm,
and hundreds of thousands of different parts, different SKUs. And what usually happens is product data comes in from the supplier, gets loaded to the website, and then everybody kind of goes, great, that's done. Right. And then what they don't do is they're not actively, updating their product catalog. So this is pretty typical, actually. Most distributors and parts dealers are operating on basically putting out fires. This is a fire. You're going to let customer service know about this, your
yep.
frustration, and what's going to
I'll be
happen is,
nice.
yeah, what's going to happen is that poor person's going to be like, well, what the heck? It's not my fault. Tell the website team what just happened, and now they're going to go
Yep.
fix it. But that's reaction mode, right? That is
Yeah.
a result of operating reactively instead of proactively. And what they probably should have done was had a system that would enable them to flag and refresh product data coming from their suppliers. And
Okay.
that would have allowed them to catch the change that happened in that serial number ahead of time. And
Right.
unfortunately, you're dealing with so many parts that these things get missed. And
Oh, there
you
were
could,
hundreds of them. Yeah.
yeah, and so that customer service person is going to blame the product team, but the product team is probably going to blame a platform or a
Mhm.
supplier, right? And so the blame ultimately gets shifted downstream. But really, where it probably should lie is with the commerce leadership, because there
Okay.
was not a gate in place to prevent outdated data from being live for a customer to purchase. And
Yeah, I can see how easily that would happen because, like, I bought it from, an organization that sells, I'm not giving anyone a free plug here, by the way. So I didn't go to like dishwasher manufacturer Redacted's website. I went to a distributor's website and did the search. So I think what you're saying is that the data that was correct in, May, by the time I was looking the next May and that change had happened, it was out of date and nobody caught it because there's no one whose job is to make sure that's all up to date until they find out there's a problem and they go to fix it. Is that what's going on?
yeah, that's exactly right, right. So there has to be a process that starts at the very top of that, what we call a digital supply chain, right?
Mm,
So the manufacturer is actually, most of the time doing their job. Not always. Sometimes it's their problem. So here's another person to blame. But what they do is they usually have a PIM or a data system that they're connecting to their distributors or resellers, and they put feeds in there, right? So when I say feed, we're talking about a updated list of product information that
mhm.
can be integrated, or what happens most of the time is that data feed is picked up by that distributor and downloaded and then uploaded into the distributor system so that they can then update the product information online, right? So what happens
Yeah.
if there is a broken pipe here? Right. So basically, the pipe is broken between the manufacturer feed and the distributor's website. What happened? There was a breakdown in process, governance, or just the translation of that product data into ultimately the distributor's commerce system.
So this has happened to me once, and I'm one person with one dishwasher. But if this is happening, even 0.5% of the time, that's how many customers getting the wrong part or how many businesses getting a truckload of the wrong part. Like, how often is this happening, and what kind of impact does that have on the people who are selling these products?
Just think if you're a contractor, right? And you're on site with your customer, you're looking at, let's just say they're not as DIY as you are, Floyd, and they hired a contractor to come fix their dishwasher. Well, that
That's a smart move.
contractor, they're diagnosing the problem. They've identified the part that they need. They're looking to save time, right? Because
Yep.
they have to get to the next appointment. And so they pull up the website and they order this part. It comes in, it's the wrong part. That customer is pissed, right?
Mm,
Like, and now they're feeling that because as far as their customer is concerned, they're not thinking about the digital supply chain. They're thinking about my contractor sucks. And so that contractor, you know what they're
yeah.
going to do? Next time, they're not going to the website. They've lost
Right.
the trust in that
They
website.
don't believe it.
They're going to call and they're going to verify. They're going to find a salesperson at the distributor and they say, "This is what I'm looking for." And just in case there's any confusion, oh, here's a picture of what I'm looking for.
And
So
then
tell
that's
me,
taking up someone else's time on the end of the distributor. Right now, I've got a salesperson who's basically helping someone find the right part in the right aisle. That can't be a great use of their time.
exactly. And
Mm,
honestly, it defeats the entire purpose, right? Every
yep.
distributor wants the website to allow their customers to self serve, and that enables them to be more efficient and be more strategic in their sales operations. And when this sort of thing happens, you've basically shot yourself in the foot. And unfortunately, it happens all too often, which is why, like, at least in my industry, like, we see 10 to 15% of total revenue going through their e-commerce channels, and that's way behind, and it's because of this sort of thing. Customers don't trust it.
Yeah, and now I can see why. So when I get the wrong thing, the wrong dishwasher part shows up, or I've ordered, a shirt and it's the wrong color. I guess the way I would have thought about it in the past is, well, something got messed up at the warehouse. Like they grabbed the wrong thing. Like some person somewhere made a mistake, or I don't know, pick and pack robot made a mistake. But the mistake is happening further upstream. It's happening at the data layer. It's not necessarily a physical problem, it's a problem that exists, on a computer somewhere. I wonder how many people are thinking about it that way instead of just thinking about like the wrong physical product showing up on their doorstep.
100%. Like we often think it's a warehouse issue or a logistics issue, but most of the time these distributors and manufacturers and retailers, they're 99.9% accurate when it comes to moving physical product.
Mm,
This is what they are good at, right? And unfortunately, they're not always as efficient when it comes to moving product data and maintaining that product data. They don't take care of it quite as well as they take care of the warehouse.
right.
And so yeah, it's oftentimes a part number that is off, a product specification or an attribute that is wrong or missing, that is ultimately the roadblock in the customer journey and experience.
Okay, so how do we fix it? How do I get my correct dishwasher part next time from manufacturer redacted?
Exactly. Let's fix it, right? Let's fix it. I mean, fixing it, often, I thought about this because we're doing this podcast, and I don't know if you guys are like me, but I like to listen to like health podcasts a lot.
Hmm.
I'm a junkie for that. I'm not very good at physical fitness, but I try to know as much as I can. But when I listen to these experts, right, they talk about the problems that people have, and at the end of the day, what it always comes down to is habits and mindset, right? And so we could easily like point our finger at platforms or or team members, or maybe we don't have enough
Hmm.
staff. But I think at the end of the day, it comes back to this concept of data governance. And that
Right.
can mean a lot of different things. It could mean, I have a process, and that process is run with discipline, and there are certain gaps, or excuse me, not gaps, but gates that are in that process that prevent these kind of errors from happening in the first place.
Mm,
So a lot of teams, again, they operate reactively. They operate like in task mode. So I have a task. I need to update this supplier feed. I need to enrich this product category. I need to fix these products, remove these products. But they really should be thinking about it as a life cycle, like as a continuous process. And really, so that depends on a couple things, right? It depends on the ability for you guys to define that. You have to be able to define the process first and then automate it, right? Because at the end of the day, like, this is a perennially understaffed role in organizations. There's just not enough people to do the job well.
right.
And so how can you automate it? How can you implement AI to make sure that your manufacturer data feed is automatically updating your PIM, and then that flows through a governance process where people are spot checking, doing the human work, and then how can you transform that data using some technology, using better workflows, so that it is being displayed accurately for the customer. It may be easier than it sounds, but it's either always an issue with process, and that's habit. You have to
Yep.
develop the muscle to make this habitual.
And if you want to keep comparing it to personal fitness, it's not like you can go to the gym once and all of a sudden you're shredded for life. This is something that you have to keep doing and keep, getting that feedback and getting better and better. That I think is super interesting. I think it's a perspective that we can dig into a lot more. My one complaint, Matt, is that you didn't tell me why I did not get overnight shipping. Can you speak to that, please, sir?
That's a whole nother thing. I think we might have to tackle that on the next one.
Okay, fine. Keep me in suspense. Me and my broken dishwasher.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Data versus Commerce. New episodes drop weekly.
So if you're responsible for any part of how products get from a database to a doorstep, subscribe now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.